The purpose of serial dilutions is to take a sample, such as a broth, and make it less or dilute it to the point where when we ultimately plate our sample, we can get a decent number or reasonable number of colonies on the plate so we can quantify it. All right, so here I got my station set up. This is my broth culture, all right? And then I have my water blanks. Remember, each of these contains 9 milliliters of sterile water. Everything is pre-labeled. So here I have 10 to the minus 1, 10 to the minus 2, and that's my preference for labeling. We'll talk exactly about what these labels mean, but right now the easiest way to think about this is minus means smaller, 10, this is 1 times 10 less than my broth. This is 2 tens less than my broth, so that's 10 times 10, that's 100. This is 3 tens, 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000 less, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Or the ultimate simple way to think about this is just first tube, second tube, third tube, fourth tube, as long as you know what happens as we go down each tube. Here I have my pipetter set at 1 milliliter. Remember, 1,000 microliters is 1 milliliter. I got my tips, and then my drip sheet. The drip sheet is optional, but it's super handy, right? So just got some paper towels, spray it down, and I'm going to work over my drip sheet. So whenever I make any little drops, right? So even though this pipette is not supposed to, or is not, it's going to be very accurate, and it's going to minimize the amount of spillage, right? There's still going to be some. So if you spill everything in this area, then generally it's much easier to clean up. And then always notice it's near our flame because we want to be by the flame, right? So let's do this then, right? So we know how to use a pipette. Keep this closed. I'm going to open, snug fit. And then remember, pinky, twist and pull, flame. And I'm going to take my 1 milliliter. First stop, nice and slow up. Make sure your tip stays in the liquid the whole time. And then that's done, right? And then notice I'm going to leave a gap here because I'm done with this. Keep your pipette over your drip sheet at all times. I'm going to grab my 10 to the minus 1 once again, twist and pull, flame, and then into my liquid. So I'm just going to put it right there at the interface. Nice and slow out. First stop, second stop, pull out, flame, this, discard. Okay, and so that's my first dilution. Now make sure we mix this very well, and remember, this is how we're going to mix. Okay, so let's pretend I mix this very well. Now I'm done my first dilution. I'm ready to now do my second dilution. So we're going to repeat the process. Grab a tip, grab my 10 to the minus 1, twist and pull, flame. First stop, into the liquid, nice and slow, flame. I'm going to put that over there. I'm going to grab my 10 to the minus 2. I think you know what I'm going to do next, right? Nice and slow to first stop, second stop. Make sure you pull out before. I'm going to let go now, and done. Discard. Mix well. You repeat this process over and over again. Every time we do that, our 10 to the minus 1 tube has 10 times less bacteria than our broth. Our 10 to the minus 2 tube has 10 times less than our 10 to the minus 1. 10 to the minus 3 will have 10 times less. 10 to the minus 4 will have 10 times less. And every single time we do this, we create a solution that has 10 times less bacteria.